Hi there, welcome to another episode of Screech Bomb Commentaries. My name is David, Baron von Fabulous Lark,
And I am Callum, the good Dr. Young.
and we're here today to bring you a game three of the group stages between, who it is between Callum actually.
We have Lorenzo from the Hamburg Atlanteans versus Lapoire from the AFK.
Now Lorenzo here hoping to get some revenge for his teammate Kiwi, who we saw defeated by Lapoire earlier in the tournament.
Indeed. And Lorenzo having made it here undefeated, having beaten two of his fellow teammates in the ridiculous Hamburg Atlantean heavy group that they're in. So let's start with Lapoire, who's located in Belgium and plays in the AFK. And we start with Moncart, the Tailor of Harvest Stream. And this is an AOA deck, which is an unusual choice, but I think we can relatively easily spot why. As we start off with double binary rupture and an interdimensional graft.
Yeah, we saw this play to great effect against Kiwi in round one of the group stages.
Yeah, just is a very strong brig deck because you also have the double binary rupture, which means you can play a binary rupture after brigging, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I think we saw it go from 12 to like 24 Ember or something insane. As a result of that, it was brutal to see.
Also archiving key bits with the ZYX researcher.
But the rest of the deck is nothing to know either. In the shadows,
Not at all.
we have some very, very good answers for stealing. So you've got your routine jobs, you've got your swindle, you've got double brand with a life for a life, which gives you potential for stealing 6 with one action, killing 2 brands with 1 stone, if you will.
Indeed. And if you put them next to the Archimedes you've got, potentially do it again later. So that's just going to be very steely. And then you have the Dis, which is full of pretty useful disruption, right? So you've got double Tesmol for the potential lockout, Gongoozle, Exhume for a brand, perhaps, and a Shadow of Dis, which could be real big.
Could indeed. Also double Shula as well. You know, an Anguish too. Anguish a really good way of increasing key cost a bit, especially with say a Gongoozle easy way to just kind of like hit the Anguish, get yourself basically a pseudo Lash of Broken Dreams.
And sets up your brig even better. And all of that adds up to the 30 expected Ember that this deck gives you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think a nice deck. I think like big concern would be no artifact control, no creature control. If someone else gets ahead of you, it could be problematic, but they do have to play around that brig combo, which often slows people down, makes people kind of make plays they wouldn't normally be making.
Yeah, that's kind of what you're relying on to rein in any board nonsense where you might reap five or six times.
Indeed.
Okay, so then we'll move on to deck number 2, which translates to Captain Gravity, Miriam Aristotle.
Champion name really is.
Or Captain Gravity. Great. Why have I not seen Captain Gravity? When's that coming to cinemas near me?
I wish it would be.
So here we have key cost time. So there are 4 E-dies. Count them, 4. 3 Rita Gallums.
It's E-die 4x4. There's got to be 4, Callum. Otherwise, are you really E-dying?
Of course. Yeah, you really need a minimum of 4, obviously. Yeah, so 4 E-dies, 3 Rita Gallums, 2 Garcias, and an interdimensional graft.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah, this is some nasty logos. I mean, this is kind of
quadricorder as well.
Yeah,
just in case. Throw that in there.
It's a quadricorder with a reassembling automaton too, which is always a problematic combo.
Oh boy, yep.
So anyone who doesn't know, reassembling automaton, a really interesting card which has destroyed. If you have any other creatures in play, instead of destroying reassembling automaton, fully heal it, exhaust it, move it to a flank. Means if you put an upgrade like quadricorder on it, because it doesn't die, that quadricorder sticks around. Other popular combos include Soulkeeper on a reassembling automaton, which can lead to some gross things.
That is real gross. Yeah, so you're basically trying to ramp up your opponent's key cost to a ridiculous amount and then either make them pay that much, costing them a lot of Ember, or hit them with the graft, getting yourself a huge amount.
There's also Tribute as well to kind of knock them off that Ember too. You know, some real nice Saurian Golden Spirals. 3 Rare Gallums, just in case key costs weren't high enough. 3 of the boys.
Could Golden Spiral them and make it +6 for 1 Rita Gallum. And then you have the Imperial Forge as well.
So if you've not seen Imperial Forge before, forge your key at +8 current cost, reduced by 1 for each Ember on friendly creatures. Sometimes hard to do, but When you have Tribute, this could suddenly become much, much easier.
Yeah, because that's just then an instant 5 on a creature, and you're then forging it only +3,
Hmm.
and you've got the spirals and the Gallums to and the Power Guardian and the Thero and the like. Oh my god.
Yeah. Lions and
Uh,
tigers and bears, oh my.
oh my. So reasonable chance of getting Imperial Forge to go off because the deck has some pretty decent efficiency in archiving with the 4 E dies
It does. And finally, the
and
Star
the
Alliance.
gray.
Maybe not something you talk about as much as Storm, but still has some real useful things in Double Comm Officer Kirby. Great card. Information Officer
Yep,
Grey. Really useful for
great
that
card.
speed. Operations Officer Issue. I do not have an issue deck. I want one so bad. It's one of my. It's a Sanctum card in Worlds Collide, and it makes me happy.
It's a spirit and everything.
Yeah, but this is just really useful in this deck because Fight Reap Capture One really helpful with that Imperial Forge too.
So essentially, he's also got a really big Sanctum sword in the art.
Yeah, he's basically a Sanctum guy.
He just used to. I think clearly, like in the same way that they've had. I'm trying to think of other examples now.
Is it Special Officer
It's like-
Fingers?
yeah. Fingers has come from Shadows. Ishi
Yeah.
has come from Sanctum.
Hmm.
That's cool. Yeah, so pretty good. I think if I'm picking out a weakness, the deck seems problematically light on creature control.
It does, yeah. Artifact control as well.
Very light.
But I think you're kind of just relying on the fact that you can just kind of play your own game and kind of like push up those ember costs, kind of really kind of get your opponent in awkward situations, which we've seen in like Lapoire do very well as well. We saw him do it with Montcart, and we kind of think similar thing with this deck as well. You're making it hard for your opponent to play. You're saying if you do certain things, I am going to punish you for them and take full advantage. And I think that means it's going to be. I think Lapoire is a tricky player to play against, and that is evidenced by the decks that he's chosen.
It's also just like 25 creatures, Worlds Collide. If you can't deal with the board, you're just going to run away with it as well.
Exactly. And that's the thing with
25.
board clears. I think board clears are useful, but the problem is that when you're playing a deck, and this is the kind of deck I play a lot with like 25 creatures, often you don't really want that board clear because you're getting rid of your own creatures too. You kind of prefer to have stuff like a zap, maybe a red alert. If someone's kind of got a fast start, you can rein them in with a red alert. But like a zap's really good just for kind of like knocking out those like awkward, hard to deal with creatures. Same with a phalanx strike. I think creature control doesn't look great, but I think actually it might be better than it looks when you've got this many creatures.
We may find out. All right, looking at the third deck we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
This is some ridiculous mass mutation rush because you have 31 expected ember and 23 of it is just pips on cards.
It is, yeah. First thing you're drawn to is that fertility chant with the wild bounty. That's potential kind of like 2 cards giving you 8 and 10. I think in this case though, because it's a fertility chant.
Indeed 10.
And is enhanced with the Ember Pip.
It is enhanced with an Ember Pip, so that is 10 Ember out of 2 cards.
Brutal.
Yeah, you've got a huge amounts of efficiency to set it up as well, right? So double Lethal Logica, Eclectic Inquiry, double Sloppy Lab Work to discard anything that doesn't have a pip on it. And so you're just going to, by playing as many cards as you can every turn, generate huge amounts of Ember.
Yeah, and also just useful cards for playing against other things in the meta. You know, you've got like Lights Out and Lost in the Woods dealing with Saurians. You've got Borrow for those kind of transport or platform like type decks that are really hard to deal with.
Yeah, you've got Savage Clash.
Exactly. You know, it's just got a load of tools with it. I think this is a very strong deck. And
triple Lost in the Woods.
Yeah, if the other 2 decks didn't look equally as terrifying, this would be a deck that I'd be banning every day. But it's a hard decision to choose what I'd ban here.
This has been banned 2 times so far.
I can see that with the fertility chant wild bounty, you can just potentially just kind of like someone like turn 1 just plays that 10 ember. You're like, what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah, like, well, great. What am I supposed to do now?
But
Zola, basically.
Let's see the guy who's going to be going up against him. Look at Lorenzo's decks here. Lorenzo's someone we've commentated on quite a few times now. As the Hamburg Atlantis as a whole,
it's just very, very always good to watch. It's always been really entertaining.
Yeah.
And here we have Violent Valley Agent Randolph. And it's pretty good. Pretty good.
It is
just all round good things in Worlds Collide.
Yeah. You know, you're looking at kind of like at the logos. You've got Tautar Vapors, great card. Twin Bomb, which is really useful for getting those little things. Hologramophones, super good to get the walls and stuff like it. E-Dies, Jar Goggles, put a bit.
Double Quant.
Yep, and Zenzi to round it out. Fetch Drone is an interesting card you don't see too often. Discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Each logo's card discard this way for any creature captured 2.
Not that great.
No. But to be honest, stick a Hawk on it if your opponent doesn't have any artifacts you want to get rid of. Bit of Ember from there saves you having to hit something like your Hologramophone, which you want to keep.
True. And got a lot of efficiency, both in logos and also in Star Alliance. You're looking at a Grey, you're looking at a Val Jericho, you're looking at a Tabor.
Yep. Sonic offs a Lang. After an enemy creature reaps, archives the top card of your deck. You know, if that's allowed to stick on the board, can do some nasty things with that, as well as Morpheus with stuff like Garcia's, and again, Frane's. Shame there's no Frane's Blaster, because a Frane with a Frane's Blaster and a Morpheus, really strong card.
Yeah, but you're also looking at like Morpheus Ronnie, Morpheus Edai, Morpheus Jargogol. Oh god, what happens there? That's going to be a mess.
What's an interesting combination with Navigator Alley and Psionic Officer Lang is that you can use your Alley to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put them back in any order, then reap with your. You can get the reaps off with your Lang. You know what you're going to be archiving.
No, if it's an enemy creature reaps, you archive the top card of your deck.
Okay, well, less useful then, but you know, could have been cool.
It could have been cool. Ali is still fine. Yeah, and we've got good creature control with the Quintino Flux and Red Alert. Got some Ember control in the TMTP, which I haven't even talked about yet.
Yeah.
Ronnie's, Edai's, Double Hawk. You just kind of have all of the things you think you might need to win a game, and also the ability to go through them quite quickly.
Yeah, and this is a thing that we've seen from kind of Lorenzo, but also the Hamburger Lions as a whole, is they tend to favor decks that do kind of have like a lot of answers, you know, like very good all-round decks. They don't tend. We see from Lapoire earlier, they're kind of very specialized decks, and you kind of know kind of like what the thing is. With these, they don't have as much of a game plan. It's almost like a lot of answers and a deck that kind of like synergizes with itself so well that it's hard to play against.
Yeah, like this is very adaptable. This will play differently depending on what matchup you're playing. Whereas something like Michelle or Moncart, you have a specific plan you'll be trying to do every game. Okay, speaking of things you'll try and do every game, we have Odin E the Aggressive.
L'aggressivo.
Where, yeah, it's some coda and you have triple control the week off the top.
I'm sure you're thrilled, Callum.
I mean, I'm on record as not a fan of Control the Weak, and this is one of the most miserable examples because not only is there 3 of them to begin with, you also recycle them a huge amount, right? Because you have the Help from Future Self to reshuffle them back into the deck, and also the Novu Archaeologist to just get one back. So you can envision it, and a Phase Shift. So you can Phase Shift, Control the Weak, Novu Archaeologist that Control the Weak.
Yeah, it's
ready in future.
Mother for those extra draws as well. It's going to get through your deck quicker. Time Travelers get a bit of deck. Distania, really useful card in the current meta. If you're playing against decks like Auto Encoders, like a Ultra Graviton, anything like that likes to build up a big archive, and with which we know Lapoire with that deck with 4 Edais definitely want to do. This deck could get real nasty in that circumstance.
I think absolutely. And yeah, it's got 16 pips in it. And so you will just be forcing your opponent into turn skips, if not turn skips, very suboptimal turns. And you'll just be generating a lot of Ember whilst doing it.
Indeed. And last but by no means least, a deck that we've commentated. I think this might be one of the decks we've commentated on most out of any decks.
I think the most, yeah, because we've done a lot of the Hamburger Lightnings, we've done a lot of Lorenzo, and he plays this a bunch because it's really good.
Yeah.
I'm not unhappy to see it again. It's enjoyable to watch every time.
Which is surprising for you. I don't think I'd ever hear you say an enjoyable to watch deck would include 2 Mark of Disses, Sanctum, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, obviously if I was actually playing against it, my thoughts would be radically different. But I'm forgetting
this has had a SAS bump since the last time we saw it as well, because 80 SAS bumped up from 76, so potentially its success driving that bump.
So what does it do, rather than just us talking about how we've done it before? So basically this deck will just stop you from doing anything that you would want to do in order to win a game.
Yes.
So you have the double Skippy Time Hog straight off the bat, which will just ban you from using any cards you have on the board for that turn.
Yep, and kind of like a lot of just useful stuff in logos for like archiving with your causal loops and your detective inquiries, your lab works. Got creature cards like Daughter, Cronus, good for drawing and archiving too. Bookton, useful things. Discombobulator, great to stop the steal.
Yeah, Discombobulator stops the steal, and Vault Keeper stops the steal.
Yep.
So there's a fair chance you won't be able to steal things against this deck.
Yeah, Vault Keeper. Anyone who's not seen a card that was interesting coated, one of my favorite cards actually is just Hero can't be stolen. Keeps it simple, just Vault Keeper.
Yep. You have a Purifier of Souls.
Destroyed effects cannot trigger. Just not allowed.
No,
I am
no
justified. I am purified. I am sanctified. Purifier of souls.
So no destroyed effects. You have an opposition research to just stop reaping, in case that's a problem, and then a double mark of dis just to stop you from picking what house you want to pick. So you
Great
basically
key
see
as well, just to kind of like knock your opponent back a little bit. Kind of stop them, kind of take the heal. Nothing to increase key cost really, so can't take full advantage of that. But just taking your opponent off a key can be really useful.
Yep. And so on top of that, you have a pretty hefty Sanctum board with 114 expected power and 23 creatures, and a lot of enhancements. We haven't even talked about that yet. There is maths, 21 enhancements in the deck,
including 9 with the Maleficorn, which is after an enemy creature is dealt damage by a damage bonus icon, deal 1 damage to that creature, so it's doubling your damage icons.
Yep. So you basically try and shut down your opponent doing things whilst building up that big board.
Yeah.
In terms of ban chat, I think for Lapoire, it's pretty clear. You ban the triple control the weak deck because it messes with so many of your plays, right? So you have the brig deck where you want specific houses at specific times. You have the key cost increase one, Captain Gravity, where you want to be able to pick the house that ramps up the key cost. If you can't do that, you got problems. And then the Chancellor of the Discord is just rush, and you don't want to be slowed down that way.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I think that this could like have a big effect on all 3 of Lapoire's decks, so I would agree that Odin L'Aggressivo is the one to ban.
I think Lorenzo bans the Mass Mutation Rush deck.
That would be Michelle, yeah?
Yes, because he's got a couple of like all-round decks, and which will be able to adapt to a longer game and sort of take on whatever challenge they're being faced. The problem is that with that deck, you can just get an insurmountable, unwinnable situation.
Definitely, yeah. And stuff like Borrow, being able to like take artifacts as well, can be really nasty into a lot of his decks. And I think that you look at the other 2 decks, and you've got Montcart, which has the Ember production but doesn't have the speed, and you've got Gravity, which has the speed but doesn't have the Ember production. Michelle has both, and trying to deal with both with an all-rounder deck always going to be difficult.
Yeah, so I think that probably does get banned.
Okay.
But let's find out.
Yeah, and we'll see you at the games in a second. Thank you. Hi there, and welcome to the game. This is game 1 of this round. On the top of the screen, we have Lapoire, and on the bottom of the screen, we have Lorenzo. Do you want to tell them what decks they're playing today, Callum?
Yeah, Lapoire is playing Captain Gravity, the superbly named. And we have Violent Valley Agent Randolph from Lorenzo.
Will the Violent Valley Agent or will the Captain prevail? Let's find out. Here we go. Now, this is a pre-recorded game that I recorded during it was played, and we're kind of commenting post on it. So unfortunately, we won't be able to do the usual thing of kind of mousing over cards as much, looking at discards, but hopefully we'll be able to see everything going on in any case. As we see the E-die come down, archiving something, Sanitation Engineer coming down as well.
Is this Tabor going to live?
And reassembling Automaton, nice and early.
Yeah, it's especially good with the quarter and the frames. You can start piling stuff up.
Indeed, you can. Yeah, quarter X, not reassembling Automaton. So, for anyone who doesn't know much about reassembling Automaton, instead, when you would destroy it, you restore it to full health, move to a flank, which means if you put down upgrades like a quadricorder, generally means they stick around for a long time. Also, really good. Another really good one to put on it is Soul Keeper too, because the Soul Keeper doesn't get destroyed, which means that you can use it again and again and just keep destroying their things.
But pretty decent response from Lorenzo.
Yeah, we do see the Automaton on its own. So if the Automaton is the only creature on a board and it's destroyed, it is fully destroyed as well. You do need to have another creature there to keep its effect rolling.
Potentially want to prioritize that if possible.
And there we see the quadricorder going onto the reassembling Automaton, and the king coming down. Ooh, Operations Officer Ishii, one of my favorite cards. I still don't have a deck with one in, but I really wanted one because it is basically just a Sanctum Boy in space.
He's a spirit and everything.
He is indeed, yeah. Tap of some moon coming down too.
decent Star Alliance boards from both sides so far, so we're going to see who can efficiency better.
Yeah, you do have that Kinkin coming down, which isn't the most effective in this matchup. Obviously, got Logos and Star Alliance in both decks, so not really going to be getting as much use out of it as we would in a game where both players are playing completely different houses. But still, if Lorenzo chooses Shadows, he's going to get a steal. If Lapoire chooses Saurian, he's going to get a steal. So it could still be doing nice. But we do see Star Alliance, no steal as far as you see a Reap with the Alley looking at the top 3 cards. First off's a Frame, going to Reap, capture one. Don't believe there's a Frame's Blaster. Obviously nothing to capture though. And CXO Tabor going to Reap and play the Jar Goggle. I wonder what is under that Jar Goggle.
It's a mystery.
It is a delicious mystery. And he's going to play a second Frame.
Decent enough start.
And then we see the steal from the Kinkin along with a Golden Spiral coming down. Theros Centurion going to capture one there. And a Phalanx Strike here, going to be able to take out 2 things if they so want.
Yeah,
good to get rid of that Tabor. Good to get playing cards out of the house.
Probably.
And no, goes for the first Officer Frame. And yet putting that Ember on that Resettling Automaton was really good to do, really hard to get Ember off of an Automaton once it's on it, unless you can destroy a whole board and then destroy the Automaton.
And we're already starting to see the ridiculous key cost shenanigans from Lapoire as well.
Indeed, we are. Yeah, already up to 9. And with 4 Edis in the deck, then it's probably going to be going even higher. But we have an Information Officer Grey first. Put something in that archive. It is going to be a Gargantodon going into there. And essentially Chief Garcia putting the key cost up to 11 casually.
Yep. Just a casual 11.
Yeah, no Edis on the board in the deck with 4 Edis, and yet we were already getting key cost up to 11. This is brutal.
I mean, that's the deck's game plan, and it does it very well.
And yeah, we're going to see that Tactical Officer Moon destroying that first Officer Frame. And we're going to see a Reap from the Kinkin and using the Issue's ability to capture one there as well. And Lorenzo straight into Star Alliance there.
Problem is that he's already used the Red Alert, which is one of the big board clears. So unless this is a Quintrino Flux, he could have a serious issue.
Yeah, and Quintrino Flux here, I mean, would be okay, but wouldn't be the most amazing thing and would take out at least one of his own creatures to do so as well. So say he'd have to take out...
Maybe go 2s and 4s.
Yeah, 2s and 4s, I think. Depending on what you got under that Jar Goggle as well, it could be something quite good to play on Out of House, but...
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Very handily drawn.
Serendipitous there. But yeah, so Quintrino Flux, yeah, I think 2s and 4s would probably be the sensible play here. No, we
went for 2s and
4s and 3s, I believe that was.
4s and 3s.
And we're going to see the Zap as well. Probably going to take out that Kinkin, I imagine.
Yeah, that's just that's why you don't hit the 2s, because you can finish that off.
But Lorenzo can't quite get onto check, as there is 2 creatures of different houses on the Poir's board, increasing key cost by +2 because of that quadricorder.
And the thing is, those are the 2 big wipes, so they may not be coming around for a while. So these Edis coming down now might stick for a little bit.
They might indeed. I mean, you've got a little bit of fight in Lorenzo here. You could be running like that Garcia into an Edi. We don't know what's under that Jar Goggle. You've also got the Anomaly Exploiter to be able to turn damage into death with that. And we see the Hawk onto that Golden Spiral, the Mug. And, yep, getting Lorenzo onto check now. Interesting decision for Lapoire here. Does he let Lorenzo have this key for 11? Is he going to keep increasing the key cost?
So you've got the graft. We haven't seen the graft yet.
No.
So we could easily see him pushing him up a little bit further. Yeah. Even just a fight with the Theros Centurion would do it. I think you're going to want to try and hit a big graft play. The problem you have is that Violent Valley Agent has a TMTP in it.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a balancing act in that you don't want to go too high on your own Ember, because if you do, then you're going to get a lot more stolen back. You want to kind of be getting a graft for like a good amount, but not the kind of like crazy amounts that you think that this Lapoire's deck probably is capable of in other games.
And this is the thing, right? If you hit a graft when they're on 10, 12 Ember, you're going to be going real big and just get instantly stolen down. So I think the play here is going to be to try and make him pay a huge amount.
Yeah, and we see the double Gallum here, putting Lorenzo's key cost up to 17. So not often that 110 Ember, you need a whole extra key's worth of Ember more to be able to forge.
Not a key's worth if keys cost 17, my friend.
Not at all, no.
I'm
But
sorry, keys cost 6 normally? I don't think so.
Lorenzo is gonna play his own Edai. So we're gonna see an Edai coming out here. Quant from Lorenzo as well. Gonna
What's
ward
the
the
Edai? Very
Edai.
reasonable.
Yep, and I think we're probably gonna see Anomaly Exploiter hitting that Theros Centurion just to get rid of it, get it off the board, get that Ember back Lorenzo's pool where it belongs. A Joggle though is going to presumably fight here. It looks like so interesting here. Could be using the Joggle to fight something and then use the Anomaly Exploiter, leaving that Theros Centurion alive. And we place the running risk clock gets to steal off Twin Bolt
Very
Emission.
nice.
Gonna hit that
Ooh.
Edai and a Ret Gallim, and then use the Anomaly Exploiter to kill the Ret Gallim.
Very nice. So it's now on 12.
Mm-hmm.
Gallums would only take it up to 11.
Yeah.
So what do you do now if you're Lapoire? Multiple Edais still to come.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you've got that graph, this might be a good time to use it. Getting 4 Ember out of Lorenzo, nothing to sniff at, and that's like a good amount to get you onto check. Do a bit of fighting, maybe take out that Garcia with the automaton, something along those lines.
And you only go to about 8 or 9, which means you're at risk of TMTP, but not, it would be the worst thing in the world.
No, it'd be bearable. I mean, with the Yancey gang, you're always going to be able to be knocked off of check with that TMTP. We are going to see logos here, so we are going to see Tight Guardian, the E-Diso putting that key cost up again.
So but he will forge at 12.
May just let Lorenzo forge here though. May just be like, look, 12's a lot to pay for a key, and I'm happy for you to pay it. You know, that's double. That's 2 keys worth of Ember being spent there on a key.
I think that is the play.
Let us see. I mean, unless he has a way of archiving here, he doesn't have a way to increase this key cost further. And no, he is going to let Lorenzo forge for 12. So first key of the game, first blood to Lorenzo. Key for 12 Ember. Brutal.
I think that's the clever play.
Yeah, presumably I've got to assume didn't have the graft, or is maybe chosen not to play it. But I would think the graft would be a good time to play that there. Getting 4 Ember off of it would have been very nice.
But you take a risk, right? Because you put yourself on 9 or 10. And then maybe that all gets stolen back and you don't even get the key.
It's true, but you do still have, I can't quite remember how many Edis we've seen, but I think we've seen maybe 1 or 2 at this point from Lapoire. You could still push that key cost up again. You've got another Gallim knocking around.
Ooh, that's a spicy Morpheus.
That is, yep. So gonna.
Ooh, shows him the TMTP.
That's bold there. So just kind of like, I mean, it is in a sense, but I suppose when you're getting closer and closer to the end of the deck as Lorenzo is, I think Lapoire is probably thinking he probably has the TMTP and is playing around it either way. So revealing that you have it probably doesn't change what Lapoire's doing.
And you don't chain yourself either.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
It being in the archives means it performs almost the same function by just stopping your opponent going big.
Exactly, yeah. It's an interesting play, but I think a very, very astute one from Lorenzo, definitely.
Very good.
But yeah, Lapoire having a little bit of a think now, slowing down a little bit. It's been some breakneck keyforge thus far, but a little bit of time to breathe. But nope, straight into Saurian, and that is picking up that archive.
So something big is coming here.
Something large this way comes, and it is a Legacy Raptor to begin with. There's a Big, Dawn Auxiliary.
Dinos.
Gargantodon. Love to see a Gargantodon. Now, Gargantodon's interesting, though, because it means that TMTP is much less effective. It's no longer going to be stolen. It's going to be captured onto a creature on Lorenzo's side of the board if he chooses to play it. Unless he has a way of getting rid of that Gargantodon.
He's starting to stack up Ember. How much has he got left in the deck? 6?
He has 5 cards left in the deck, plus Lorenzo, and 6 cards left in Lapoire's deck.
So you're getting to questions of where is the Imperial Forge?
It's a good question that is going to require a good answer. I've got to think it's going to be coming up pretty soon, and that is going to be a concern.
If he's got it, he could have a very sizable Saurian turn next turn. We haven't seen the tribute either. So you could be looking at some very cheap keys from Lapoire.
You could indeed, yeah. And he's still sort of on check here. It's whether Lorenzo's going to have a way to stop him. Obviously, he does still have that TMTP, but it's chosen not to play. It's going to play the Zens. Hard to get that in the middle, but maybe kind of just starts moving things along. Reach the quad, plays the hot, gets rid of that Quantum Finger Trap. Anomaly Exploiter hits that Theros Centurion. Gets himself to 6.
The grey?
Zens. The Zens.
Okay. I think it's a cycling turn.
Yeah, I think it's also just like getting to 6 Embers, fine, it's good. Gonna see Gargantuan remove its stun.
Okay, do we have the Imperial Forge? There's the tribute.
Mm-hmm.
Is exalting. So we're on to 5, 6,
That's a
7,
lot of Ember being stacked.
8, 9.
If he does, if he does have the Imperial Forge here, I'd be concerned about the amount of Ember he's going to though, because I think it's good reducing your key cost. It's great. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know how worth it is to just reduce it by 1 and give your opponent a chance to get that Ember back. You know, you've got no Looters in this deck. You've got no Scutums. You've got no Calipigian Ideals. I don't believe this Ember potentially is going to go back to Lorenzo, and Lorenzo's drawn round now. You know that Red Alert might be coming, that Quintrino Flux might be coming.
I mean, the benefit is you avoid TMTP related shenanigans, I think is your benefit.
I mean, no, you're doing this with the Imperial Forge. You're forging either way, right? Like it's you're using it to kind of get. And we do see the Imperial Forge here. Yeah, getting that second key.
Only pays 2, so that's
Only
pretty
pays-
good.
I just think like yeah, you look at it. You've now got what? That's a total of 6, 11 Ember, 12 Ember if you include the reassembling automaton, just stacked on your creatures ready for Lorenzo to take back. You could increase key cost a lot with this deck, but you know it could bring you a cropper. I suppose the thing that makes it safer here is Lorenzo is only on his first key, so you still got the threat of round.
That's why I think it goes right that it gives you the tempo. You can now go to check for your third key every turn probably, and make Lorenzo respond to you rather than playing the game he wants to play.
It's true. I just think that you know that Lorenzo has board clears in his deck, and you know that he's drawn.
But not that many. Like the Red Alert isn't going to do much in these circumstances.
I don't know. I think the red alert can do. I mean, the red alert. The thing with it is you've still got a big board. If you really want to get the red alert to do some more as well, you can use something like the Invasion Officer Grey to kind of like fight into something, get a bit more damage out. And I guess the Quintrino Flux is less good. There is quite a variety of power on Lapierre's board, but
okay,
you're now beginning to see this is where what I'm saying. You're getting this Ember coming back to Lorenzo's pool. Getting that Gargantuan is huge as well because you do have that Team TP. That Yancey gang has lived for a long time and Lapoire hasn't killed it yet.
yeah.
Ooh, discard Signing Officer Lang and Red Alert here.
The Red Alert's big, but did get a lot of that Ember back.
He did indeed, yeah. And Lorenzo on that key. Now, does Lapoire have a way to stop him? He's definitely got the Red Gallon.
Plays the Graft.
He does play Graft. Graft only for 2, though.
That's not very many. I think if you're Lorenzo, you're feeling pretty happy about that.
Yeah, but I guess maybe Lapoire's thinking is here, I don't have any other way to stop it. He has the Red Gallon, but maybe just doesn't have any other Saurian in hand. Has played some big Saurian turns already. It's just thinking, well, it's now or never. I can at least get a bit of benefit from this, get myself onto check, put myself in a better position. I can understand the logic here, definitely. But I think definitely Lapoire is thinking, I would have liked to at least get maybe 3 or 4 from it.
Okay, so Lorenzo forges for 8. Lapoire goes to 7 in check for key 3. What does Lorenzo have here? We know he has the TMTP. The Yancey gang is gone. I think Lorenzo deliberately took out the shadows.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure he did.
Took out the shadows. Took out the Yancey gang. He took out Ronnie. So what else does Lorenzo have to take him off check? There is a Trust No One we haven't seen, I think. So that's probably joined the TMTP in the archives.
Yes. So it's whether he has any other way outside of that, though.
Yeah, he's doing a think.
Understandably so. I mean, these circumstances, I'd be doing a big thing as well.
Because obviously, even if he does TMTP, Trust No One here, then Lapoire bursts. Picked up the archive, so here it comes. Brand as well. Nice. Give you an extra steal.
Does he have a way of destroying the Brand in shadows, though?
I don't think so, no. Or at least not with 1 card.
Good with the TMTP as well, giving the Ember then to take back with the TMP.
Yeah, that's why it's quite handy.
Can you use Mug on that Red Gallum as well, takes off that ward, gets an Ember back, puts Lorenzo onto 6, not onto check because of that pesky reassembling automaton. But this is on a knife edge here, though.
Yeah, both of them have got big key cost things. Have got big Ember control.
Yeah, so we're seeing Starlights from Lapoire. They're interesting with so many things on the board of both logos and to an extent Saurian. Going for Starlights in any case. Commoff's Kirby coming down. Since Chief Garcia increasing that key cost doesn't matter right now, but we're
Gonna
gonna see
zap stuff.
maybe that Breaker Hill. I could see taking one Jay
Yep.
Vinder. Nope, goes for the Yancey gang. Maybe has something else to finish it off. Twin Bolt Mission takes out the Vinder and the Yancey gang, I
From the
imagine.
Kirby. That's real nice because
Mm-hmm.
Lorenzo is running short of answers now, I think. He's gonna
Indeed. He's still got that Brent, and if he's got that Quintrino Flux back, hitting the threes here could be big. Because that's both comments of Kirby's, that's said Chief Garcia, that's Edai, that's importantly Retta Gallim, and it's the Brenda Fanatic.
that might do it.
And then I think maybe you hit like say fives or fours. I'd say fives. I'd rather just get rid of that Lieutenant Kurukar.
I think this matchup has shown the ridiculousness of the combination of Logos, Star Alliance, X.
Yeah,
The sheer amount of like efficiency and cycling you get from those two houses in Worlds Collide.
Yeah, I mean you're a well-known proponent of that style, especially in the Worlds Collide format as well.
Love it.
I know. But to be fair, like you got to say for Lapoire as well, though. Like I've just got to say, I was loving this kind of like big Saurian board. I think overextended a little bit on the Imperial Forge, and that may be kind of like where he starts to get these problems from. But
he's
still,
in a commanding position. Is I think ahead of this.
Yeah, I mean, if he can redraw that Imperial Forge again, he wins this game. I'm pretty sure because he can get more Ember on the Retta Gallim or the Legacy Raptor, and then kind of get more Ember by using them too. You know,
Lorenzo has got to find a way to try and kill Brend, maybe.
Yeah.
What else has he got coming?
Does he have what logos actions does he have? Does he have anything that could put a damage on the Brand and then use the anomaly? We see the Captain of Jericho.
Far from the middle.
Yeah, far from home.
Possibly not with the Quintrino Flux then, because Ali is a 3-power, and you think you would have wanted to hit those earlier.
Yeah, you would have think. Yeah, you definitely would have. I've got to think he doesn't have the Quintrino Flux then. In which case, I can't see how Lapoire doesn't win this because
there's another frame potentially.
Is there? Oh, there's a second frame. Okay, so we get both frames. They get both capture. I think maybe capture onto the Brend.
Oh, and there's the other frame.
Oh, second frame. We don't have a blaster here. I'm interested why he's putting the Ember onto the frame.
I guess just because he wants to keep other things alive.
I know, but I would just put it on the Brend, right? Because you put it on the Brend. If Lapoire wants to get it back, he has to destroy the Brend, and to do that, then steals 3. You essentially trap that Ember on the Brend.
But what if you yourself want to kill it to steal 3? That doesn't work as well if it's got Ember on it.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's true.
I mean, it's still
a net positive.
Edging near the center.
It is, yeah, and we do.
Oh, the zap!
Oh, it's zap onto the Brend. Puts Val Jericho in the middle. Tautel Vapors to draw 2 cards. Gets himself onto 11.
Oh, this is huge. This is a crazy turn. I love this so much.
Okay, so Tautel Vapors drawing something. What does he have? Quintrino Flux! He has the Quintrino. So he must have drawn that. So why would he have played the alley? Because we are going to see 3s and 2s going away here. CXO Tabor.
I think that's it because you lost a lot of key cost increases there, and you're up to 13 Ember.
I don't know if 2 Edis say here could do a lot. And
got a Gallim.
A Retta Gallim.
Does he have another one?
Second one he does. Yep. So takes the Renzo off the check.
Oh my god!
That doesn't advance the pool. Presenter can presumably
just go, keep going.
Yeah. He's got keep Stab Jericho in the middle. I think Star Alliance, CXO Tabor, Val Jericho, both frames keep taking Ember. And you could even potentially, like by the end of this turn, put Zens in the middle as well, depending on how much you play. So kind of like do a bit of a shifty back and forth, putting some damage onto the Retta Gallim and the Kurukar. Reach the Tabor to use the Anomaly Exploiter.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
the first use of the extra.
Fighting the Gallims. Gonna fight again. Yeah, put another and concession.
There's a concession. Wow. Just finishing it off with a crazy Star Alliance turn from Lorenzo. All 3 houses.
Working in perfect harmony as the Alliance of the Stars intended.
That was intense.
That was a incredible game. Yeah, I'm seeing
hell of a finish.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like there were various points there where it looked like Lorenzo was definitely down and out, and I was kind of like internally like think of what I was going to say for Lapoire's victory, but just kept finding the answers.
After the Imperial Forge play, I thought that tilted it in Lapoire's favor for sure, but nope.
I mean, it's like I said, I think Lapoire just overextended slightly on that Imperial Forge. I think he just didn't need to, you know, exalt as many things and put as much ember on his creatures as he did.
I still think it was the right call, even how it worked out. For sure, I think you get a key for so little and you have enough ember left at the end.
But it's just the kind of thing of like, if it's a choice between, like, if the card
He
was,
still had the graft
but
as
if it was the
well.
card, if a card said exalt two creatures and gate, like if a card had two ember printed on it and then its text was exalt two creatures, you wouldn't play that card, right? Like that's a bad deal.
I mean,
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't know.
I just think it was.
I think there are many circumstances in which you play that for sure.
I disagree wholeheartedly, but we'll
Oh,
move on to the second game now because that was incredible.
gotta think we're having some more shenanigans in the future.
Okay, hi guys, welcome to game 2 of this matchup between Lapoire and Lorenzo 99. We just saw that incredible first game from these two
For
players.
both sides really. There's some top level keyboards right there.
Indeed, and we're now going to see the second game of this matchup.
Not getting a switch from Lapoire on top again. Straight back into Captain Gravity.
Trapped in gravity. Can he get out? Will he get out? Of course he will.
Of course he will.
And we are going to see Dino Knight taking out that first E-Dive of the game. Yeah. Quick Smart.
And this is Sandstorm from Lorenzo, so the triple control the weak deck did in fact get banned.
It did indeed, yeah.
And I can have a cheeky look on the spreadsheet to tell you what Lorenzo banned.
You see a nice Starlight Stone there. Ishii comes out. I'm just great. Played the Kirby, but couldn't play any actions or artifacts out of house there. Can't be too thrilled about that.
No, it's always a little bit of a sad time when you can't Kirby anything. Lorenzo did in fact ban the MM deck.
Okay, and then we see a big logo stone here. Skippy Time Hog, really good. Stops your opponent using anything. Adaptoid, great card if you've got some pips in hand. And Cronus, obviously, archiving end. Lorenzo already with an archive of 3 here too, with that causal loop as well, hitting home.
Yeah, and if you can't use creatures on the board, the lack of removal in Captain Gravity could have a problem getting rid of that Adaptoid.
Could indeed.
Just a cycling Logos turn. Drops the eye behind a taunt. Could get Sanctum from Lorenzo.
Yep, it's going to play the Purify of Souls. Ooh, could get rid of that Reassembling Automaton nice and early here because that Purifier of Souls turns off the destroy effect. And I've got to think after how much trouble it was causing him last game, Lorenzo is going to be wanting to do that.
Can assault it down.
And yep, kiss the Ishii first, and then nope, leaves the Reassembling Automaton alive.
I suppose the Purifier of Souls is 5/2 and hard to get rid of.
It is, yeah. And not, as we said before, Lapoire's deck not got the best removal, but Red Alert. Oh.
I mean, that'll help, but obviously there's 5 Sanctum creatures that have survived that.
There is, yeah, but still, there's a lot of Lorenzo's board just getting mowed down there.
Ooh, the Zap. Gonna take out a couple more.
Yeah.
Well, at least 2 more.
And it's the Dino Knight. And, yep, the Purifier of Souls.
Just going to reveal the Rita Gallum.
And the Phalanx Strike as well.
Phalanx Strike off the Kirby. Sorry. Like you're like, oh, it doesn't really have the removal. But then, I guess if you have all of it.
I believe I said that in decks that have big boards like this, you don't necessarily need removal as much. With my...
yeah, but that'll sure help. Because the removal in Sandstorm is also not great. It's used to fighting stuff with the big boards.
Yeah, and it's just lost a very large proportion of that big board.
Yeah, and you're facing down a nasty Logo Starlights combo.
But we're going to see that Archive picked up. Dis is going to come out. Snarette, first and foremost. History Cog. Techno Fiend, going to catch one on the Snarette. Drekka, Break Key, Mark of Dis, onto the Logos, and ends the turn there.
a threatening disboard suddenly that you
Yeah,
need to get rid of.
most definitely.
And three on Ember on a Snorret that you kind of want to get back.
Yeah, and you got to think maybe the automaton and the Jargoggle might be fought into that, just not wanting to risk the Snorret being able to kind of like dump that Ember away, and we do see that. What is under the Jargoggle? It's a Psyops, a Kinkin.
King Can's certainly better in this deck, in this matchup even. I think only one house overlapping.
Indeed.
And the E-Dies are coming down.
They are, and that's, yeah, I think we have really saw more than one E-Die out at a time in the previous matchup, but we're now seeing 3 on the board at once, giving a key cost of 15 to Lorenzo.
With only 3 things in the archives. There's more archiving as well, right?
There is much more, indeed.
So Lorenzo looking down the barrel of some sheer brutal efficiency and wondering quite what to do here. And so there is a pause as we tensely wait.
We see the Maleficorn come down, reach the Techno Fiend to discard Causal Loop, place a Stirring Grave, brings back the Cronus.
Nice. Snows needs to cycle.
Yep, History Cog is going to destroy a damage thing, possibly that
Grey.
Edo or the Grey. I think maybe the Grey, probably not. Probably Lapoire not looking to have another Logos turn anytime soon. He does destroy the Grey.
It's also like you don't want the archives getting any bigger.
No, that's very true.
Especially when you've seen in the previous game.
And Drekka gets a steal off as well.
Nice. Yeah, especially when you've seen in the previous game the big Saurian turns that can happen.
And we see Logos coming out from Lapoire here. You could just reap for 5 as well. You know, this is a big board.
And this is MM, so no real need to worry about...
Sanitation Engineer yet takes out the Techno Fiend and the Drekka. Does get a steal for Lorenzo, but with a key cost of 15, can't think Lapoire minds too much.
Yeah, you just want to get that out of the way now.
Indeed.
And go to check.
Which he does. Check for 7. And we are going to see Logos, Cronus coming down. Going to do a little bit of an archive potentially, which it does.
So I think...
Eclectic Inquiry. Going to get even more in that archive. Skippy Time Hog stops anything being used. That is big. Sloppy lab work.
And this is why he took the Cronus with the Stirring Grave.
It is indeed, yeah.
Knew it was about to play a whole bunch of things. And a double draw sloppy lab work with the Cronus on the board. That is some...
the Baltic the Bold, not planning on playing Sanctum anytime soon.
That is some hefty archiving.
Definitely is, yeah. We are going to see Star Alliance. Obviously can't use any of those creatures because of the Skippy Time Hog. We are going to see Tactical Officer Moon.
So there could actually be some relevant rearranging here. Just puts an E-Die next to Kirka. Not quite sure what other rearranging he might do.
I think that's it. That is it. Yep, that's all he can do.
And that was a rough turn.
Yeah, it was.
And that's what the Skippy Time Hogs are for, and that's why the double is so brutal.
Yeah, and Lorenzo going to take a turn here. I got big archive, 6 cards. I wonder what is in there.
Don't know.
We do not. I mean, this Maleficorn start taking out his E-Dies, maybe fight something, use a history cog to destroy the damaged one. Could potentially be that.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be your short-term target, right? Because otherwise you're just never going to forge.
And Lorenzo takes some time to think here, but does choose this in the end. I'm going to pick up that archive.
Does pick the archive. So let's see what we've got.
Mark of Dis first and foremost into Logos.
So is now, I think, going to try and clear the E-Dies.
E-Die 1 down.
It's a bold move putting into Logos.
I guess just
with the graft.
It's true, it is. I suppose, yeah, with 9 cards left in the deck for Lapoire and 3 in the archives, maybe kind of thinking that it could be risky, but I suppose just thinking if he has it, he has it.
Also, if you put it to Star Alliance, you can Kirby off that.
Yeah.
Has he got it?
Maybe we are going to see, obviously, the Logos because of that. The Titan Guardian.
Got to be very tense if you're Lorenzo right now.
Reassembling Automaton, going to kill that Cronus. And he doesn't have the
Ooh,
graft.
that is
That's
huge.
huge.
You've got a key for 6.
And also didn't play an
Uh,
Edai either, which means that Lorenzo can relatively comfortably kind of like get some decent Ember here without any fear, because you just kind of think, well, if he had the graft or another Edai, he would have played it last turn.
and he only drew 1 card.
He did, yeah. That's a big mark of dis and a big turn for Lapoire here.
And that's the power of Mark of Dis. If like that's kind of why we talked about the why he banned the triple control the weak deck, because it can shut down your complicated plays with the key cost stuff. But Mark of Dis can also do that.
Yeah, very much can.
Because you can imagine that he's got Gallums in hand or in the archives.
So Kinkin going to steal one because of the Sanctum. There's no Sanctum on the board at the moment. I'm going to deal 1 damage. Damage to Kinkin, which is double bottom left con to destroy it. Vault keeps stopping the steal, but stealing one with his own because of it.
Still, the Lorenzo, looking down a scary board, seems to have turned this around pretty well.
Yeah, considering we saw that red alert early on, that massive board from Lapoire, Lorenzo fighting his way back into it.
And I think, I think it was the Kronos play that did it, right? Because he knew he needed cards. He knew he needed lots of dis damage pips at once. So with a handful of logos, went into dis, archive the Kronos, and then built up a massive dis board, dis hand in the archives, and then had a huge turn with the Maleficorn.
We are going to see Saurian here, Retagalem after Retagalem coming down, increasing that key cost, stopping Lorenzo getting that forge. Gargantodon.
Just a turn too late.
And we're going to see straight away logos, not even a second thought from Lorenzo, so he gets the opposition research down.
Yeah, just a big no to that hefty board again. So obviously can't use the Gallums next turn. No key cost increases there.
He's also going to probably take out that Retagalem, which he does. Gets a steal and gets a capture and a draw, but no Ember to capture. So discombobulates to stop stealing. Sloppy lab work. Gonna obviously get that double draw from that.
And we're just seeing the power and consistency of this deck. We said this a bunch, so we commentate on this deck a whole bunch, but it does its job pretty well.
It does indeed, yeah. And he goes to 9 here. Retagalem on the board could increase that key cost, but can only increase this to 9. So we may be seeing a second key here, unless Legacy's Raptor maybe the play here. Oh, we see the Retagalem played.
Can't reap.
Oh, of course, no.
May only be noticing that now.
Possibly, yeah. I did not think of that at all.
Easy to miss.
Definitely
now,
is.
And there is this somewhat characteristic thing where you go to reap and then you know it's too late, you're fighting.
Yes. And this is a problem. I think we could be seeing Lorenzo's second key here. And the second key is big in this matchup because that interdimensional graft. Oh, but we have the tribute onto the Gargantodon.
We do have the tribute.
As I was saying, the second key in this matchup is big, though, because at that point, suddenly interdimensional graft becomes useless. Really. You need to get that in before the first or second key. Otherwise, you're just getting yourself an Ember and not stopping them forging.
So with the tribute, may not have missed that. May have just wanted to fight off some logo sufficiency with the killing of the daughter.
Yeah,
possibly. And some other things.
Right.
So we've got almost through the deck from Lapoire. So the Imperial Forge is around. Looking like a similar situation before, where you can get a free key or a practically free key.
I've got to think that the Gargantodon is gonna be attempted to be killed here. I just can't see you leaving 5 Ember. I mean, it's risky with the graft running around, but I think worth doing, and then maybe just taking out those Retagalems if you do like a dis turn.
You just think you like fight everything?
Oh yeah, I think you run something into the Gargantodon, maybe.
I mean, if you do
Technofiend, I wouldn't want to do something. Technofiend, maybe actually, yeah, just for the capture. To be fair, and maybe you prefer a capture than steal at this point, just because you don't want to be giving it back on the graft. So I'd maybe run the Technofiend. Oh, you see Sanctum though.
Let's see what he's got.
General Salvador.
Just building up that board again.
Legatus Raptor. Shoulder armor. And yep, does get rid of that Legacy Raptor. I suppose maybe just kind of like planning on just building up some Ember of his own.
Yeah, and it's just also taking out the key cost increases, right?
He
So it's
is,
taking
yeah.
out both Rita Gallums now.
And Emberheart onto that Lieutenant Gorvenal just to give him like a
Just,
good source of Ember control here. Oh, and
uh,
equalize. That's
ooh, that could be
interesting.
real big because if you put that on something,
Spreading the Ember out is Lorenzo. I'm
huh,
intrigued by that, especially on
why?
those particular creatures. Huh.
I would have thought you. There's nothing. Is there anything in Captain Gravity that does that? No Scudums. Imperial Forge doesn't care.
That's an interesting play there.
We may see in future what he's up to. I guess taking it off the Gargantodon means that it's on an easily more killable creature.
I
You
suppose
could
what
have.
the idea is he doesn't want it to be easy to just kind of destroy one creature and get it all back in his pool with a graft.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, because of the graft.
Would be what my only thought on it, but it's still an
I think that
interesting
makes. Yeah,
one.
I think that's a good play.
Yeah.
As ever, we're like seconds too late because we're
Yeah.
not quite as good.
But
We do have the quadricorder coming down from Lapoire now, so we're still playing this key cost increase game
he is
on
indeed.
the. And it's just how do you get around this if you're Lorenzo? You've got a good board, you've got your sort of things building up, but you don't want to get grafted because it's MM, so you do not have the response at all.
Mm.
Do you just keep taking out the key cost increases? So now you've got to take out Garcia.
And we see the Skippy Time Hog there. No reaping, which is big because it means that you can't increase the key cost with those sensitive Garcias. We've already seen a
Well, you got
lot of
some.
the Edars have gone past, a lot of the Red Gallums have gone past.
Well, they're play fight reaps, so you could.
If you can't take the Garcias off the board though. That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
I mean, I think is there a third Gallum we haven't seen? I'm not entirely sure.
There are 3 Gallums, but
I know, but
I
I know
can't
we've
remember how
definitely
many we've
seen
seen.
2, but I can't remember if we saw 3 or not.
Oh, hasn't he reshuffled now? So
Well, I know, but he's only just reshuffled, so
true.
it's whether he's got to draw another Gallum or whether he's got to have a Gallum in hand ready to play.
It's safe to say he's probably got something, but this is the thing, right? The way that this deck wins, the way that Captain Gravity, from the looks of it, what we've seen, wins games, is by racking up these key cost increases, and using the board to gain Ember.
Mm-hmm.
But that board's been shut down time and time again by Sandstorm.
Yeah, and this is the thing that Sandstorm is an expert at as well and is very good at doing.
Yeah, we've seen multiple Skippy Time Hogs, we've seen opposition research. Okay, got some logos.
We do indeed have the logos from Lapoire. And discards the Jar Goggle. And it's going to play the graft.
He's going to play the graft. So, going to graft him for 2, but that's not that much. I think if you're Lorenzo, you're like, okay.
Does he have any way of killing any of his creatures? And he's presumably, going to kill that off the moon. So it's going to be 4,
Okay,
in fact.
So 4.
But yeah, just for the 4. And allowing Lorenzo to forge.
I mean, I think if you're Lorenzo, you're like, I'll take it.
Yeah, not thrilled about it, but not mad about it either.
Now I can reap out again. And we just start this key cost nonsense again.
Indeed. No. And I think you can do some things with Sanctum here, like fighting into those Garcias just to get them off the board. You can get you can do enough fighting to take Lapoire off check, which I think is very important.
You can, yeah, you sort of Vaultkeeper fight, Zalvador fight, Gerboldic fight, but we are going to see Dis and a big pickup of the archives.
We are indeed.
Oh, a Mark of Dis.
I think your Mark of Dis in here into logos. Interesting.
We just saw a big Logos turn.
Yeah, we did just see a big Logos without any E-dies, so...
and it's not like you can pick a house where they don't have key cost increases.
It's very true. Well, I don't know, maybe picking Star Alliance, if you're going to kill both the Garcias, you then don't have any in that house. But I suppose maybe just isn't going to get on check anyway, potentially, and so it's just thinking, well...
maybe. No.
Here was the point when I was recording this where I was like, oh, his battle line's getting very long. I'm going to do a quick side-to-side just so you can see what's on it, just in case. And we are going to see the Essence Scale Maybe that Skippy Time Hog wanted to get it in the discard. No, gonna destroy the Techno Fiend
So can he get to check
and
here?
destroy the Titan Guardian.
Has he got anything in logo? So he's not checked, so he's all right. I'm tempted to reap there with the History Cog rather than destroying the Titan Guardian. Just to put yourself on 9.
True, yeah, I'm intrigued why you didn't do that. Especially with
I
it
think just,
giving Lapoire a couple of cards too, much more likely to draw into say like an Eda, but especially if you're not on check anyway, meh. If you want
it's
to play
just playing it a
E-Dice
bit.
now, then
Yeah, it's just playing it a bit longer, right? You've got the board dominance now that I think you know you need to win the game.
yeah. And we are going to see a switcheroo between the Garcia and the Kurikar. And that's
And
all
that
that
is
can be
it.
done with a reap and the
Oof.
reassembling. That's
Another
huge.
massive turn skip. And if he's got another Mark of Dis here, which he
He
does,
does.
that
Oh,
will close it out
God.
almost
Yeah, and we do see
certainly. And
the
yep.
concession from Lapoire.
So a couple of excellently well played games of Keyforge.
Yeah, really, but both like complete nail biters. I think both players felt like they were in the driving seat at various points in both games. But yeah, Lorenzo does take the matchup 2-0.
An impressive comeback from Lorenzo and Plain Sandstone. I was feeling like he wasn't going to take it. Then couple of key plays in the middle of the game brings it right back.
Yeah, so we'll now head to our customary third sealed game, which you can watch to prevent you from knowing whether this went to 2 games or 3, which I think in this matchup is very worth knowing.
So if you've enjoyed those 2 games of excellent Keyforge with some high quality decks, I hope you'll stick around for mediocre Keyforge with some random sealed decks.
All right, thanks very much. See you in a second. Hi guys, welcome to the third game of the episode. This is just going to be me and Callum playing a bit of sealed. The reason we do this is because the match has only gone to 2 games. And as a result, we don't want to just end after the second game, make it obvious that that's the final game. We want to create the illusion that there was some epic fight back in the second game, no matter how unlikely it may have seemed. Feel free to watch this. It's just going to be us having a bit of banter, playing a bit of Keyforge, but if it's not something that interests you, then feel free just to kind of like stop watching now. Game's already kind of started purely because I got a delivery halfway through the recording, so I went and sorted that out and then came back. So yeah.
But you've only missed 2 turns so far, so it's all still to play for.
Yeah, I'm clearly winning, as you can see.
I don't know. I've got 2 Ember to your 1.
Indeed, you have. Okay, so I'm going to go for some Stir Alliance lands. And play this creature here.
Star Alliance, you say?
Star Alliance, I do say. We'll do this one here, and this one here. How's like them potatoes?
All of these things are going to die.
Oh no. My things! No! Leave them alone! What have they ever done to you?
They were there, and thus they must die.
That's fair. I mean, they were there. That's accurate statements made by the good doctor. Rogue Ogre! God! That's not something you see every day.
Yeah, one of the few mutants in that's this particular set.
Oh. It seemed callous then not to play Sanctum and use Burning Glass to stun it.
Ha ha! Nice. Such great trouble.
Oh, look, that was good, right? Come on.
That was pretty good. I'll give you that. That was enjoyable.
And then we'll kill your ancient bears.
Oh, but they're ancient and bears.
These are accurate statements, but they start to die. I'm sorry. No, I just looked at the deck list and it's a lot better than I thought it was actually.
Oh no. Well, mine looks not. It looks fine. Not amazing.
You know what? That Rogue Ogre, I would like it not to do any fighting. So let's do some Star Alliance.
Yeah, great. Here we fucking go.
And I think detention. A fate worse than death, as coined by Hermione Granger. I know it's expelled that was worse than death, wasn't it? Ooh, Heavy the Huge. Absolute unit.
It was we could be killed or worse, expelled.
There you go. Yeah, you got it. You got it. I knew you'd get it.
And then obviously, like in the film, they added a punchline afterwards, which I always thought was egregious. Ron goes, "Oh, she needs to sort out her priorities." I was like, "Yeah, we get it. It wasn't like a complex joke before."
And Heavy the Huge can now be Heavy the Dead.
He is indeed dead.
Deceased.
This actually does raise some interesting questions for me.
Okay.
Well, I've got this mimicry.
Right.
It's obviously like a whole thing.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to mimicry, though? That's the question.
I don't know. This is the thing. I could not tell you the answer to that question.
Smite is pretty useless.
Smite's not that handy. Oh, I know what I can do.
I don't like that. I'd like you not to know what you can do at all.
Well, I mean, the first thing I'm going to do is...
I don't like it. Oh, Lupo the Scarred. Oh, I think that's being reprinted in Dark Tidings. I think someone
it is. I'm
mentioned.
very excited.
Yeah.
I could actually do the Smite here, I think. And it wouldn't actually be that bad. It would take out both of those things.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true.
I've got my eye on that Stirring Grave, though.
I have archived something.
You have indeed archived something. If I was paying attention, I could have told you what that was.
It is also. Is it not in the log for you when you look at it? Because it is on my end.
Yes, it was a Secura droid.
Yeah, it's not very exciting, unfortunately.
Could Smite. I think I will.
Oh, okay. All right. Be like that. I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing to capture an icon. But sure, whatever.
Okay. Cool. Ah, cool. Very well played, sir.
Thank you. I was quite pleased with that turn. It felt effective.
Yeah. Shame they're all going to die, but it's all right.
Yeah, well, their time was going to come eventually.
It was, yeah.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fine.
Ooh. My favorite cards in the whole game is with the Fair.
Look at that staunch boy.
He is indeed staunch. That's a nice key there you have, Callum. Be a shame if something happened to it.
What?
It's be a shame something happened to it. Ooh, that's a good one to get rid of.
Yeah, it doesn't let you winning this so far.
Ha!
Right, okay. Yeah, it feels like you've probably got this well in hand.
I don't know. I mean, we're some cut and thrust, I'm sure.
Nope, they will not.
The old razzle dazzle. No, my turn key. No. Rude. No, my Obsidian Forge. No. How dare you?
Yep, your
that's
Obsidian.
That's a good idea, Brain. Let's do that. Yeah. Oh, that's an even better idea. If it'll let me pick Sanctum for some reason, TCO is not cooperating. I'm gonna do a quick refresh. There we go. No. Right. There is an order to do this in.
So you scroll up to the top right, and then the concede button is next to leave game. That's probably how that goes.
Yeah, very true. But what we're actually going to do is this cool thing.
That's going to be cool.
Because then we can do a little cheeky reap with this chap.
Fight with the Seeker of Truth. Fight with the Picaroon.
Yeah. Yeah. Sequis can die, though.
Very nice.
Yeah, thanks, man. I was pretty proud of that one. That was a good one, right? A little bit about a whole switcheroo. A little bit of the old razzle dazzle.
Shade and Shimmium.
My Dino Knight, no! Oh, he's alive, okay. No! How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? I'm shocked and appalled.
Yeah, the problem is that I don't have so much in the way of Ember control.
That does tend to help, I'm told. I'll put your Staunch Knight back. I'd rather your Earthshaker didn't come back down, really. And shake the earth
Really?
again.
Don't want me to Earthshaker everything?
No, I'd rather you didn't. If you wouldn't mind, it'd be quite nice if you didn't do that. Oh, Telegar. I see how it is. Ooh, okay, this is a choice.
Yeah, things are happening now.
Yeah, it's. There's some decisions. Oh no, yeah, okay. Well, no, because that's that. It's how much of that do I get, and whether you have that. Because if you have that, that'd be real bad. Okay, we definitely want to play this because literally all of our cards are that. We definitely want to play this. And have we got enough? No, we've not got enough to kill that, so we'll kill this instead. We definitely want to play you. And we'll play this upgrade on here. This upgrade on here. And then this upgrade on here. And this upgrade on here.
Yep, and that's the game.
And oh well, in that case, we'll play this too.
Yeah. I could. I mean, you would have done that anyway, really.
No, maybe with the piece of code, I don't know. Maybe the piece of code was a bad idea because
there was an unguarded camp at the bottom of this deck that I really could have used at any point.
Yeah.
And I got nothing.
This deck though, sadly, like drew in completely the wrong order because I got that transport platform like early with all the tons of upgrades and the Nell I had. It could have gone off.
Oh yeah.
It was a bit of a shame, really. But
you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have some fun.
I think it went all right anyway, though, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like you did fine. It was close. A different draw order, and I think I do better as well.
Hang on.
I couldn't really keep a board, could I?
Don't you win?
No.
Okay.
Because I'm one short from chowdering. Right?
No. I really shouldn't have played that piece of cards.
Right, I'm on 6.
Yeah.
If I get the shirt back now.
You've got a Hunting Witch.
Ah, yeah. Man, we suck at Keyforge, man.
Well, you suck at I knew I shouldn't have played that piece of chord, but I was like, but then you said, "Oh, well, I've lost anyway," and I wouldn't have played it either. I wouldn't.
You wouldn't have played it. You wouldn't have played it. I just didn't see it. I was like, and also, I had thought I'd lost at that point because I didn't have enough Ember to do that shit. Well, that was dumb.
I knew I shouldn't have played that piece of chord. Oh,
I think we'll call that one a technical win for you. I feel like you did.
You did the reverse Chota. You didn't tell me you had a Chota. You just told me I won.
We are top level Keyforge players, you guys. We're so good at this.
This is how Callum actually got in the KFPL. It wasn't by good play. He just tricks his opponents with skullduggery. Is what happened.
Dumbest because I literally did not occur to me. I was like, oh, I'll just generate a bunch of Ember, be fine. And you're like, wait, haven't you won? I was like, oh yeah, there's a Chota in this deck, isn't there? I could have done it back. Oh, wait, but you had to talk me through every step of how to win. Oh boy,
I hate you so much.
So glad this was recorded for the internet again.
Well, yeah, that's been the Seals game. It's now 2-1 to Callum, but I am mad about it.
I'm gonna look up the Assassin's deck actually.
I'm fairly sure mine would be quite high because I think it's actually quite good, which makes it more annoying. Hang on.
Mine's 69, so it's not bad. It's very nice.
I think mine will be in the 70s. I think, like with that level of that level of
Transporter Nell is beloved by the SAS people.
yeah, but it's also like all of the upgrades have only 64? No way. That's crazy. Oh, it's only 3.1 Ember control. Okay, that makes more sense.
Ah,
It has
yes.
4.7 speed, which I feel like is not the case, but sure. I mean, it has
well, I guess
It has 6 upgrades with a transporter platform and a nail. I feel like 4.7 speed. But then again, I suppose you just get games where like this just didn't come till super late.
I guess I won with the superior deck in totally normal circumstances.
Why are you on a... Hey, you're such a dick.
You pointed out to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was real dumb.
Shouldn't have pointed out to you. I should be like, no. Well, that's the thing. I was like, when you were like, oh, you've won this, I was just like, looking at it, it's like, what? What do you mean? I should have just been like, no, yeah, mate, yeah, I've won this totes, and then told you that you're an idiot. That's what I should have done.
Well, when you said it, you had. I didn't have remotely November to share out because I only had 7, and I didn't have enough to make another whole key. And you gave me that precious 2 Ember.
I did. I should have known.
To give me precisely enough Ember to win the game.
I did.
Let's leave this now because otherwise it's just going to be you complaining and me.
I will be complaining.
Laughing in an unsportsmanlike manner.
I'm going to be mad for the rest of the day.
Well, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much for listening, everyone. We have been Screech Bomb Commentaries. Right. For once, I'm the salty one instead of Callum.
What do you... Bye, everybody.